In this video, I will show you how to rearrange some complex formulas. Let's consider sine x is equal 0.7 multiply exponential minus pi k. In this equation, we want to make k the subject. The first thing we are going to do is to remove 0.7 on this side to move to the other side. And we're going to have sine x. Here we're going to have exponential minus pi k. 0.7 is multiplying exponential minus pi k. When a multiplying variable moves across the equal sign, it will divide. Next, our aim is to isolate k. But if you look at this equation, you're going to see that k is held by exponential. In mathematics, the natural log of x is the same thing as log x of base e. Both are the same. However, exponential neutralizes natural log. Exponential opposes natural log, and natural log opposes exponential. For us to get rid of this exponential, we're going to take the natural log of both sides. Whenever natural log comes close to exponential, they neutralize each other. Because of this concept, I'm going to take the natural log of both sides. And here I have sine x divide 0.7. And here I have exponential minus pi k. Next, this natural log will neutralize exponential, and minus pi k will be free, because in exponential x is x. Also, exponential, the natural log of x is also x. This is ln of x. Next, we are now going to have that the natural log of sine x divided by 0.7 is minus pi k. Next, I need to isolate only k. Minus pi is multiplying, hence on the other side is going to divide the natural log of sine x over 0.7 divided by minus pi. K is now isolated. We can rearrange this as k is minus 1 over pi multiply by the natural log of sine x divide 0.7 in bracket. We have made k the subject from this equation, and this becomes our answer. Next, let's consider cos x plus 7 in bracket is equal to a. Here we want to make x the subject. To make x the subject here, cosine is enclosing x plus 7. Hence, we're going to take this cos across the equal sign. to release x plus 7. If I have x plus 7 on this side and on the other side I got 2a. If cosine moves across the equal sign, it will become the cos inverse of everything on the other side. Now x plus 7 is free. We usually do this whenever it is a trigonometric function. For example, sine x is 0.5. We're going to have that x is sine inverse of 0.5. We can also experience this if tan is also involved. If I want to make x the subject here, it's going to be tan. It's going to be x is equal the tan inverse of 1. This is exactly what I applied to cosine. Next, we want to make x the subject. On this side, I have the cos inverse of 2a. 7 is plus here. If it moves across the equal sign, it becomes minus 7. We have made x the subject, and this becomes our answer. We're going to make w the subject here. This is z subscript 0, and we're going to remove this square root. If square root moves across the equal sign, it will become squared, and we're going to have that z subscript 0 squared is r plus jwl divide. Next, we're going to move everything here across the equal sign. Because this is dividing across the equal sign, it will multiply, because when a dividing variable moves across the equal sign, it will multiply. Or this is like over 1, and we can say let's cross multiply, and we're going to have that z squared, and this z is subscript 0, is going to multiply g plus jwc in bracket, and now we have r plus jwl. Our aim is to make w the subject, but w is enclosed in this bracket. We're going to expand this bracket, and we're going to have that z subscript 0 squared will multiply g plus this z subscript 0 squared will multiply jwc. On the other side, we're going to have r plus jwl. Next, w is here and w is here. We're going to keep all the variables with w on this side because I want to make it the subject. Hence, I'm going to have z subscript 0 squared w multiplying j multiplying c. This w is here. I will move it across. Because it's plus, I'm going to have minus jwl. On this side, I have r. This z subscript 0 squared multiplied by g will move across the equal sign and becomes minus z subscript 0 squared multiplied by g. Next, I have w here and I have w here. I want to make it the subject. I will factorize the w out. What will I put here? By the time it multiplies this w, everything here will return. I'm going to have z subscript 0 squared j c. minus, I will put a variable here. When this variable multiplies by w, I will get JWL. It's going to be JL. And on this side, I'm going to have R minus Z subscript naught squared multiplied by G. My aim is to make W the subject. I will leave W here. On the other side, I'm going to have R minus Z subscript naught squared multiplied by G. Everything in this bracket is multiplying W. Hence, I will move it across. And because they are multiplying W, on the other side, it will divide. Now we have made W the subject. And this becomes our answer. We can rearrange this further to have by factorizing J out of the denominator. This and this are the same. And this becomes our answer. We have made W the subject. W is no longer here and is isolated. We are going to make X the subject in this equation. Everything in this bracket is enclosed by the natural log. To eliminate this natural log, we're going to take the exponentials of both sides, because exponential neutralizes natural log and natural log also neutralizes exponential. Hence, we're going to have exponential multiplied by the natural log of 1 plus x over 1 minus x, all in bracket, is equal exponential 2. And now exponential will neutralize natural log, and 1 plus x over 1 minus x is now free. On the other side, we're going to have exponential 2. This and this both are the same. Our aim is to make X the subject. This will move over to the other side and multiply, because this is over 1. 1 multiply everything here. We're going to have 1 plus x, and 1 minus x will multiply exponential 2. We're going to have exponential 2 multiply 1 minus x. Next, we're going to expand this bracket. Here I have 1 plus x. On the other side of the equal sign, exponential 2 multiplied by 1. We're going to have exponential 2. Next, this is a minus. X will multiply exponential 2. We're going to have x exponential 2. Next, x is here and x is here. I'm going to keep this x on this side. I will move this x multiply by exponential 2. It's having a minus here. On the other side is going to be plus x exponential 2. And on this side I have exponential 2. This is 1. It will move across the equal sign and become minus 1. I now have x on this side. X is common on both sides. I'll factorize x out. I'll open a bracket. This is plus. What will I put here? By the time it multiplies by x, x will return. It's going to be 1. And what will I put here? By the time it multiplies x, I will get x exponential 2. it is exponential 2. On this side, I now have exponential 2 minus 1. X can be isolated here. X is multiplying everything here. If a multiplying variable moves across the equal sign, it's going to divide. I'm going to have x here. On the other side, I have exponential 2 minus 1. This will move across and is going to divide 1 plus exponential 2. And this becomes our answer. We can rewrite this as x is exponential 2 minus 1, or divide 1 plus exponential 2. Both are the same, and this becomes our answer. We have succeeded to make x the subject in this equation. In this equation, we're going to make x the subject. I can rewrite this as exponential x divided by 2. This is like divide by 3 is 1. This is like over 1. I will cross multiply this 1 multiply exponential x divided by 2. I'm going to have exponential x divided by 2. On the other side, 3 times 1 is 3. I can write this as exponential x divided by 2. This and this are the same. Next, exponential is enclosing x divided by 2. In order to neutralize exponential, we're going to take the natural log of both sides. Natural log will neutralize exponential, and I'm going to have that the natural log of x divided by 2 is the natural log of 3. Next, natural log will neutralize exponential, and we now have x divided by 2 is free. On the other side, we have the natural log of 3. Our aim is to make x the subject, and I'm going to have that x is these 2 will move across the equal sign, and because it's dividing across the equal sign, it will multiply. It's going to be 2 multiplied by the natural log of 3. We have succeeded to make x the subject, and this becomes our answer. We can write this as that x is 2 multiplied by log 3 of base e. Both are the same, and this becomes our answer. We have succeeded to make x the subject in this equation. Let's make t the subject in this equation. The first thing I'm going to do is to eliminate this I. I'm going to have small I divided by the capital I, and now I have exponential minus RT over L. I can also rewrite this as I over I, and I'm going to have exponential minus RT divided by L. Our aim is to make t the subject. This is exponential. For us to neutralize the exponential, we're going to take the natural log of both sides, and I'm going to have that the natural log of I over I in bracket, and on this side we're going to have that the natural log of exponential minus RT over L. Next, natural log will now neutralize exponential, and now we're going to have natural log of I over capital I. On this side we're going to have minus RT over L is now free. Our aim is to make T the subject. L will move over to the other side. We're going to have that L multiply the natural log of I over I in bracket is equal to here minus RT. We want to isolate T. On this side, I want T to be alone to make it the subject of the formula. On the other side, we're going to have L multiplying the natural log of I over I, all in bracket. Minus RT is multiplying. On the other side is going to divide. T is now isolated. We can rewrite this as that T is minus L over R multiply the natural log of I over I in bracket, and this becomes our answer. We have succeeded to make T the subject in this equation. We are going to make X the subject in this equation. To make X the subject, this is natural log. We are going to introduce exponential. This is the same thing as the natural log of X plus 5 in bracket, and we have on this side 3 minus 2p. This and this are the same. Taking the exponential of both sides, we're going to have X plus 5. On the other side, we're going to have exponential 3 minus 2p. We can rewrite this as exponential the natural log of X plus 5, or writing the exponential in this order, and on the other side we can write it as exponential 3 minus 2p. Exponential can neutralize natural log, and X plus 5 is now free, and on this side we can write this as exponential 3 minus 2p. Now we can make X the subject. We're going to leave X on this side, and on the other side we're going to have exponential 3 minus 2p. This is plus 5. On the other side is going to be minus 5. X is now isolated, and this becomes our answer. We can rewrite this as that X is exponential of 3 minus 2p minus 5. This and this are the same. We have succeeded to make X the subject in this equation. In this equation, we're going to make r the subject. The first thing we're going to do is this 8 is outside this bracket. This 8 will leave, and because it's multiplying on the other side, is going to divide I. On this side, we now have 1 minus exponential minus t over CR. Next, we can decide to move this across the equal sign, and this will become plus, and we're going to have exponential minus t over r. This minus is what will change. This minus is held by exponential, is not going to change. On this side, we have 1. I divided by 8 will move. It is a positive here. On the other side is going to be minus I over 8. Next, we want to make r the subject. We're going to take the natural log of both sides, because natural log will neutralize exponential and vice versa. If we take the natural log of exponential minus t over r, on the other side we're going to take the natural log of 1 minus I over 8 in bracket. Now natural log will neutralize exponential, and minus t over r is now free, and on this side we have the natural log of 1 minus I over 8 all in bracket. Next, we want to make r the subject. What we're going to do is to cross multiply. R will move across to the other side. If a dividing variable moves across the equal sign, it will multiply, and we're going to have minus t is r times the natural log of 1 minus I over 8 in bracket. We want r to be isolated. On this side we have minus t. This is multiplying. On the other side is going to divide, and we're going to have the natural log of 1 minus I over 8 all in bracket. We have made r the subject in this equation, and this is our answer. Let's make x the subject in this equation. To get rid of this natural log, we're going to take the exponential of both sides. Exponential will neutralize natural log, and s squared is free. On this side we have exponential 2 plus kt. This, we can rewrite it like this. Both are the same. We want to make x the subject, not x squared, and I'm going to have x is, on this side we have exponential 2 plus kt. If a squared variable moves across the equal sign, it will become a square root, and this becomes our answer. We have succeeded to make x the subject in this equation. Next, let us make theta the subject. The first thing is to remove r subscript naught. We are going to have r divide r subscript naught, and on this side we have exponential alpha theta. To eliminate this exponential, I will take the natural log of both sides, and we're going to have the natural log of r divide r subscript naught, and on this side I'm going to have the natural log of exponential alpha theta. This natural log will cancel exponential, and we're going to have that the natural log of r over r subscript naught is now alpha theta. Our aim is to make theta the subject. Alpha will move across the equal sign and is going to divide because it's multiplying here. On the other side, I'm going to have 1 over alpha times the natural log of r divide r subscript naught in bracket and equal to theta. Theta is now isolated, and this is our answer. We have succeeded to make theta the subject in this equation. Let's make P2 the subject in this equation. The first thing we're going to do is to get rid of w subscript naught, and because it's multiplying, on the other side is going to divide, and now we have the natural log of P1 divide P2 in bracket. Next, we want to get rid of this natural log, and we're going to take the exponentials of both sides. Hence, we're going to have that the exponential of w divide w naught is exponential of the natural log of P1 divide P2 in bracket. Next, exponential will neutralize natural log, and we're going to have exponential w divide w naught is P1 divide by P2. Next, we want to make P2 the subject. P2 here is at the denominator. We're going to cross multiply, and it's going to move across the equal sign. On the other side, it's going to multiply everything here. Alternatively, you can take P2 up and P1 down, and because you inverse this is like over 1 will move up, and exponential w divide w naught will come down. This is another alternative, or you can cross multiply. Both will give you the same answer. This multiply this will give you P2 exponential w divide w naught, and 1 multiply P1 will give us P1. I want to make P2 the subject. Here I have P1, and because exponential w over w naught is multiplying, on this side is going to divide, and this becomes our answer. I can decide to write this as P2 is P1 over exponential W over W naught. This and this both are the same, and this is our answer. We have succeeded to make P2 the subject in this equation.